We're going to do another inspection. Now this can be an inspection whether you're inspecting to purchase or whether you're inspecting to service the vehicle. It's a bit of that. We're going to try and keep it down to about 10 minutes and go over all the most important things we need to check when servicing or purchasing a vehicle. This one's a 150 Prado 2011. A couple of comments. People liked these sorts of videos because they're on the ground and they don't know what to look for, and I get it. Okay, you're not used to looking for what we're used to looking for, and you know what? We look at a lot of these, so we can pick out all the regular things pretty easy and get it all knocked off in about 10 minutes. It doesn't mean there's not something else. We're not going to necessarily cover everything, just one piece of the million-piece jigsaw puzzle. Now, first thing I've noticed with this vehicle, if it was a purchase, there's a lot of rust and corrosion. See that rust there? Rust on all the bolts, bits of corrosion on the bolts. See that, right? Right, a bit there, a bit there. It's not bad, don't get me wrong. This isn't a bad one. Little bit of rust on the bash plate, whatever. It's not a bad one. It just means that it's white. It came from probably WA or Queensland and from a mine or something up, and something like that. It's not a bad one. They all vary. This is a good one, but it's not a Victoria car. Victoria cars are the best. Why? Because they don't get to go on the beach like WA, Queensland, New South Wales, South Australia and all that, right? So Victoria used cars are the best, but you've got to be careful where they came from. Let's go underneath, have a look. So the first thing we check is play in the front wheel bearing. So you jack it up. We're going to check for that play by wobbling at the front or the top of the wheel and check for play. The reason we don't do it at the side, because the other thing we're going to check for, and we do it from the side, is this inner rack play in the inner rack end, which on the 150s they can be loose. Okay, on the 120s they're a bit older, more likely they could be worn. And this is a good one. It hasn't got that sweat on the bottom of the boot. That's the other thing we look for, that bit of a sweat on the bottom of the boot. We don't go and change the rack when it's got a bit of a sweat there. We just monitor the situation, don't we, right? Because it's not that bad that it needs any work yet. Have you spotted a problem yet? Yep, only 140 odd thousand Ks, and the stock suspension unusually is fogged. And when I say fogged, what's that mean? We'll see, it's leaking. You've got moisture that's unusual compared to other vehicles, and it's on both of them, right? So maybe it's been slamming over some speed humps. Maybe that's what kind of, let's call them blown. You've blown your shockers, because lately some people have been talking about blowing injectors and blowing engines and blowing this, and it's a bit of a pox word really, because what does blown mean? How have you blown your, so let's say he's blown his shockers. Look, he's blown his coilovers. You better watch that video too. What's it? It's called suspension slang. Check out that video. Coilovers, shocks, struts, whatever. We're calling them struts, right? If you want to know what I'm talking about, watch that video. So he's blown his shockers, right? Let's have a look at the bush there. Stock bush is usually pretty good. Now, how are we going to confirm if it's been driven hard over speed humps and see if he's blown his shockers? Well, let's have a look at the lower control arms and see if he's blown his bushes. Okay, let's have a look. Are these bushes blown? Whoa. I reckon if you looked on the left side, I'll try and hold it still for you. See the crack going through the 458 number there? Right, the crack starts at the left and it comes down. That bush is about split around about halfway through already, so it's well on the way, which kind of confirms this one here. It's just a bit stressed. It's not too bad. Now, if you've got bushes like this, doesn't mean you've got to panic and jump on it straight away. Yes, we can supply you arms, but you need to allow a lot of time because we don't keep them in stock. And of course, when somebody wants them, everybody wants them at once, and there's none in Australia coming from Japan. It's going to be weeks or a month, so plan ahead with this one, guys. We can supply arms for about $1,700 a pair, plus freight to wherever you are. So about, let's just say $1,760. Why don't we just say $1,760 to almost anywhere in Australia, definitely on the East Coast, all right? Now, let's check out this one. Same thing, right? See the split on the right. Out of the rubber, around about 40% split. Doesn't mean it's the end of the world and you've got to jump in there straight away and change the arms, but it's something you've got to plan towards. Right, normally these arms and these bushes last a lot longer. Having heavy duty suspension actually helps, because instead of going a boing, a boing, a boing all the time and stressing out the twist on these bushes, it's held a lot firmer, okay? And there's other reasons why these bushes fail as well, and we've talked about it in other videos. I'm not going to go, it's not a lower control arm video, right? We've already used 5 minutes and we haven't passed the front end. So one of the most important things we're going to check is our tyres. See the tyres, plenty of tread there, good. We're checking those wheel bearings, that's important. Check for the play in these wheel bearings. Check the CV boots, right? Right, yep, they look okay. CV boots, no leaks, and some people are going to say, oh, is that a leak? And you need to go look at the other videos. This is not the first video we've done like this, and we're going to do a number of them. If I don't talk about it, it's not a problem generally, right? I might miss something, but you know, checking for radiator, any sort of leaks there, no, looks good. You know, there's no point saying, oh, what about the upper control arm? If upper control arm bushes were a problem, I'd tell you about them. They're just not, so, you know, if we don't talk about it, it's not a problem. See that corrosion we're talking about? Anyway, let's go down towards the back of the vehicle. So it's a manual, here we go, it's a manual. And I can see some overspray of paint around, okay? There's a bit of overspray, see that? That's because, like I said, remember the mine thing? They get traded in, they go to wherever, they go to the cleanup crew. As I said, this one's not a bad one, but the cleanup crew's been in and they've sprayed a lot of silver, and that's why it's silver up there, but here it's flaked off, right? Look at, see, there's none here, but look, oh look, it's all silver there because they've sprayed it to make it, we make look nice for you. We make it all look nice, and then it's the wrong paint. It's all flaked off, right? Back to the original sort of coating. They might not have painted this. Anyway, down the back, they put some shockers in it. Beautiful. By El Cheapo. Anyway, we're going to check the rear pads. Really important. Tyres and brakes. We're going to spin the rear wheels, check for play in those bearings. Very uncommon, but we're going to check it because it's important. Going to look around here, look at some bushes. You can look at the lower trailing arm bushes. You're never going to see a problem with those. You can look at the upper trailing arm bushes. You're rarely going to see a problem with those. You might see that. I can't see it too well. I'll have to get up there. You know, that's just a bit of flexing. I'd have to get up there and have a look. I'm looking at the camera screen. I'm looking at what you're looking at, but I'm on an angle. It's hard to see. Yeah, it's not the end of the world, right? Bit of moving, a bit of twisting. Right, let's have a look at this one. Right, same thing. Bit of movement, bit of twisting. That's what you're looking for. When they get older, they can perish. The fuel filler hose on the 150, we're not worried about at the moment. It's different to the 120. It may be improved, or maybe they're just not old enough yet, but we haven't seen any leaks, sweats, cracks, or anything on the 150. If you've got a petrol one, I'd suggest you change it anyway, because I know how petrol messes with the rubbers and stuff, so I'd be changing it anyway every 7 or 8 years. There you go. All right, over to the brakes again. Quick look in there at the brake pads. The way we check it is you just have a look in there. You can see the disc rotor, you can see the backing plate of the pad. If you're not sure what I'm talking about, watch some of our recent videos. It might not even be out yet. I'm sure there are some called how to fix a brake squeal or how to change the brake pads. Search on our channel so you don't get confused with mixed information. All right, this one here, oh, it's obviously been in a bingle because we can see a bit of panel work here, right? Oh, I knew that, right? I did know that, but that's pretty obvious, and you can see they didn't do the best job because there's bare metal there. They've beaten it, they've hit it with a grinder, they didn't spray their paint and insulation. You can see that bit of, you know, join there, not so good, and this doesn't look like it's been to a proper panel better to me, but it's been to one. So you can see the nice clean new rear bumper bar, right? Right, you can see the tail light over here that's been repaired. But over this side, you can see the nice clean new one. That's how you do repairs, a clean new one, not a bog job to bog it in. What are they thinking? Anyway, that's what they do, guys. That's why you've got to be careful. So we're having a look around. You can see the dirt in there. It's a WA Northern Territory car, obviously, with that stuff up there, right? You know where it's been. That's okay. There's nothing wrong. We're not saying this is a heap of, you know what. This is an awesome car so far from what I see. It's not covered in rust or corrosion. It looks pretty good condition. Someone's done a try and hide it job, right? They should have probably been better off doing more cleaning and a bit of lubrication, like spray some, you know, rust prevention fish oil type product. So you can see the black paint over the orange release the fuel filter clip there, right? So that's how we know it's been painted. See, it's all black up there. That's the paint, right? That's the paint. That's some of it. So you can see the silver up on the bracket directly up near where the two bolts are. They're the two bolts you undo to bring it down to change the fuel filter. So I'm not seeing anything bad here. I've already checked for playing the uni joints, the CVs, everything. I can see there's been a bit of paint. So they're trying to hide the bit of corrosion that it's got. Better off washing, cleaning thoroughly, spraying, you know, whether it's an inox product, some fish oil, whatever, just to get it lubricated. See how this steel just looks lubricated and wet? I'd rather see that. It's kind of, that's your rust prevention, right? Bit of oily stuff around. I don't mind a bit of overspray, but this isn't a bad one, guys. It's been dirty, it's been used. This has been NT mate, but nothing wrong with the car that's been used. It's a good car. Okay, just having a look around. What else are we going to check? What else? Okay, that exhaust gasket. Let's tell you about that. You know the squeaky one? Oh, look, there's a new gasket in there already done. See the bolts here, right? You just undo the 2 bolts and slip a new gasket in, it fixes the squeak. What else do we normally see on the Prados? Not much. Let's quickly run through from rear to front before we call it the end on this video, right? Fuel tanks, check for damage if people have done rough off-road use and repair as necessary. Check the rear tyres, the rear brake pads, check the rear shockers for leaks, they look okay. Fuel tank hose looks okay. All your bushes back here are going to be okay. Leave your drive line, check it all out. Should be fine. Exhaust is normally fine. You can change that gasket if you want. Check the fuel tank here. This is awesome. It's got no damage on it whatsoever, which is really good. Maybe, no, very light rust, not much at all. Manual, not my preference, but it's your preference, it's your car. Check your brake pads, again looking through there, check out how much meat's left. If you want to understand more about brakes, as I said, watch our brake pad replacement videos and how to fix the squeal. All the videos come together, like I said, one of the million-piece jigsaw puzzle. Check your front struts for leaks, which we've got. So the only issue I see on this vehicle, the lower control arm bushes are starting or more than starting to split, or about 50% of the way through. And that's probably from bouncing around too much because of these flogged shockers, or the shockers are flogged because of the bouncing around too much. Blame, well, it's in Victoria now, blame Vic Roads. They put the speed humps in, send them a claim. New suspension, tyres, bushes all round, send them the $5,000 bill. They'll charge you in excess of about $1,000 or $2,000 and pay the balance, right? You need to sort of prove that their road caused the damage. You've got to put, they make it really hard. It's almost impossible. Right, bash plate, that's because it needs a lift kit. Anyway, guys, hopefully that's been helpful for you. I did this again, and I'll do it again, and I'll do it again, because people said they liked it, so they know what to look out for. And once you've seen it on the hoist like this, it gives you a better idea what to look for underneath, so you know, instead of just crawling about looking at you don't know what. Now, I want to apologise in advance. Quite often I call the hoist posts, I call these the posts. They're the arms, not the posts, right? The yellow things, they're the arms. But I call them put the posts under, take the posts out. I'm talking about the damn arms, not the posts. Anyway, guys, hopefully you got something out of that. Please give us a thumbs up if you did, and subscribe, turn the bell on, sit tight for the next informative video. Thanks for watching, guys. See ya.